Hello again, this is Shalom Ernest and welcome to the Clarity to Leadership series. Today we're going to be talking on the myth of authenticity and why saying be yourself can actually ruin your life. You see, be yourself sounds nice, right? But what if that's the one thing that is actually ruining your life or bringing about the confusion or living in that state of confusion that you actually are experiencing? Authenticity is powerful, no doubt about that, but think about it. What if your current self of undeveloped brokenness life that you currently are living with fear and all of that is where you are? Then authenticity becomes a trap because you are not experiencing your true and authentic self. And when you try to resolve or return to the idea of being yourself, you are rather being a wronger version. That doesn't mean there's no truer version inside of you, but that state is not it. Real authenticity is about aligning with your highest design and not your current default, right? However, your truest self is hidden in God's blueprint for your life, and this is something you would have to discover. It's something you would have to refer to. It's something you would have to go seek. It's more like finding who you truly are because you don't know. You might think you do, but you truly don't know, right? And that's why self-definition without the creator just leads to confusion. So see your truest freedom as living out your divine invention or your divine intention and not your cultural expectation. So how do you then live or walk in your true authenticity? Number one, embrace identity by design and not by default. You see, who you are is different from how you've been shaped. And this is important because your personality is often a product of so many things, like your traumas, your upbringing, your culture, your conditioning. I used to tell people, I say, whenever you meet people, you're not just, there's so much to them, right? Whenever people open their mouth to speak, what is coming out of their mouth are years and experiences compounded. That's important. The second thing is that true identity is discovered and it is not invented. You have to know that. Lastly, discovery is less about finding more about yourself. It's more about becoming. You have to know that you are conforming into a particular person. You're conforming into a particular image, right? What are the dangers of this whole identity thing? You hear people say things like, this is who I am. And usually that is just a permission to slip into mediocrity. Why? Because your comfort zone would never honor your calling. So you see people, comfortable in their states that is not a refined state. And when you try to open their eyes to the fact that there can be more, there can be better, there can be something different, they tend to resolve or retreat back to the idea of this is who I am. No, that's not true. Also, give yourself to continuous refinement. And the principle is simple. Growth requires pruning. So you would have to cut off some old habits. You would have to cut off some old mindsets so that you can be welcome to your next level and the new experience of you. Because some experiences, some relationships does not serve the next level of yourself. Every stage of your life will demand a newer, a sharper version of yourself. So if you don't evolve, you would expire. You would keep living in the old when you should be experiencing the new. Another thing to help you in embracing your true authentic self is to create systems that reinforces your true identity and challenges the best version of you. There's this thing I always say, that there's an eagle in you that wants to soar and a hippopotamus in you that wants to wallow in the mud. And whichever you feed determines the one that would, thrive, right? So always know that there is an eagle in you. So your identity is not the hippopotamus in you. However, the hippopotamus in you can keep growing fatter and wallowing in the mud because you kept feeding it. So choose which one to feed, right? Pay attention to the things you hear about you. Pay attention to the things you think about yourself. Pay attention to the things you say about yourself. Remember, we are creatures of habit. If you keep saying certain things, your life will end up going in that direction, because what you are doing is you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to accept a reality that is not correct. So don't just settle for that. Don't just settle for, in fact, don't even just settle for who you are, right? Evolve into who you are meant to be, because your best self is waiting. And one of the ways you do that is by honoring yourself so much more that you ascribe every form of dignity. Dignity in the things you hear, dignity in the things you say about yourself, painting a picture of greatness for you. I mean, even in instances where your environment and everything around you seems to negate such, you have supersaturated yourself with pictures that are negating those negative experiences. So the pictures around you are telling you, look, you are great, right? You wake up in the morning, you check your pocket and look, everything is empty. The pictures around you are still telling you you are great. Allow that inner environment, allow that inner configuration to be bigger than the outward discomfort, than the outward mediocrity, than the outward challenges that seems to, reconfigure you into living in what is merely available. No, there's more. And if you truly want to be yourself, if you truly want to embrace true authenticity, you need to understand that there is a picture of you that is meant to be, that may not be the picture of you that currently exists. So you keep growing, you keep evolving into that version. That is the definition of being yourself. Remember to live with clarity and lead with purpose.